I titled this video, Think Local to Go Global, for a reason. When people are new to this industry, when they're new to the industry of selling, digital marketing services, websites, all these different white label solutions, they tend to focus themselves globally, right? They think in terms of an empire before they even have an outhouse in terms of a business, okay? They think in terms of, I'm going to sell a $10,000 client tomorrow, and I'm going to sell $100,000 this week, and we're going to make millions before they've even got $1,000 in the account. And that's, of course, foolish. You shouldn't think that way. You should think in terms of getting your first client just to get a client and start the process of building a business. But why am I talking about local? Well, it's pretty simple. It's incredibly easy to land your first clients locally. It's just that much easier. You can't hang up on a handshake. You go out and see a business. You go in there. You can pitch people in person. You can use the full force of your personality to make sales happen. You can get referrals that are local referrals where you can actually drive out and go ahead and sell people in person. Not to say that you can't start, run, and grow a business online, because you can. Of course you can. But if you're going to really take a totally pragmatic approach to building an agency, you should think locally at first, because you can rapidly build up a client base if you go to the extent of actually going and physically pitching people, in real life, where you're going out to businesses. Just because that puts you in an arena that almost no other web-based business is going to be in. You're going to be the number one on that list of closing, options for the business when it comes to having a site built, because they know there's an actual person associated with it. It has tremendous gravitas and trust, all right, when you can physically see, hey, this is the consultant building me my site. It's just a fact. When you're going remotely and you're trying to sell people over the internet, well, you have to go back and just use a little logic here. What's the rationale for going with you over the company up the street? You're located in, let's say, New York. The business is located in Iowa. Why is this Iowa-based business going to go for you over the Iowa-based web dev shop that they actually know in their town, in their little local area? There's not a huge rationale there unless your portfolio is astounding and your prices are peanuts. So you have to usually make concessions there, at least when you're new, by chopping your price way down. That's never good. You need to have a good margin of profit to be able to scale your business up. You have to have money to reinvest in computers, reinvest in leads, reinvest in marketing, reinvest in systems. You need that profit to grow. To start, though, what I tell everybody is client zero. I call it client zero. You need to land your first client. You need to get used to the entire process of selling, right? The process of going out and selling and implementing whatever service it is that you're going and you're selling, whether it's SEO, PPC, websites, whatever it is. You have to get in that groove, in that lane and track of going through the intake process, learning the grooves, learning the ins and outs of this business, this industry, and being able to apply yourself to all the various little pitfalls and quirks and problems that come up. And the great way to do that is to start locally, where you're going to have more bandwidth to be able to operate. If you have a little screw up with a local business, it's very easy to smooth it over. They've met you in real life. You are not just an anonymous, name from some anonymous corporation. But if you have that problem remotely, people tend to just demand their money back. They're just going to say, you know what? I don't trust you. I want my money back. There's a little quirk problem. That's never good. It's also, people are much more apt to file chargebacks on you remotely. So I am not a fan of people initially just hopping on and, working this completely remotely. I mean, it can be done. Don't get me wrong. People do it, and they succeed at it. But I think if you're going to build an agency, and if that agency is going to get built as fast as possible, if you start off getting yourself set up to regionally market, to sell to businesses that are within your vicinity of travel, you're going to get clients quickly, you're going to get referrals quickly, and you're going to build up your portfolio much quicker than you would if you relied strictly on web-based systems. There's also a lot more of a linear sort of curve or ramp up when it comes to adherence with those systems. If you are working 20 leads locally, you can expect your closing ratio to be much higher than if you're working even 60 or 80 leads remotely. Because of that, you have less systems to deal with. You have less burden on you in terms of marketing. There's less sort of technical burden and overhead for you to deal with. There's just a lot of reasons why going local makes sense. But going local does not mean not going global. It's not like you're going to go slower at all. You're going to go much faster. Because if you land yourself, let's say 15 or 20 local clients, right, which is not that much. In the big picture, that's nothing, right? You land yourself 15, 20, you put them in a portfolio, you get testimonials from them. And because they're local, you can talk people into giving you testimonials. You can go out and actually take your phone with you and record them, or get a DSLR camera and record them and get good testimonials. You're going to have solid testimonials. You're going to have a solid portfolio. You're going to have people that you can count on for, referrals, for, testimonials to individual clients if they need a referral. If you need a referral because you're working on a deal, people who are willing to hop on the phone for you, willing to work with you in that regard. You're going to build up your credibility much quicker doing this. And then with that credibility, and with your familiarity with process and with systems, it becomes much easier to make the hop from being a local business to a regional, state, and national, international, global business. Because now people have a good reason to trust you. And with that reason to trust you, that comes more and more sales that'll passively generate. And why do people trust you more? Well, think of all the things you're going to have. Think of all this stuff. Think about if you go to a website, and up on that site, there's a portfolio up there filled with beautiful work. There are testimonials from real people, and you can go and look and verify those are real businesses. You have the competence when you're speaking and the confidence because you know what you're talking about, because you've gone through that process 10, 15 times. It's going to give you that edge you need to be able to close out businesses on a global basis or even national basis. Forget global. You're going to be able to land lots of sales. And that's really what this is all about. I don't know why people, always want to sort of approach it in reverse. They always say, well, I don't like to knock doors. I don't like to go out on demos. If you don't like to do that, maybe you're in the wrong industry, because this is something that's sort of intrinsic. It's inherent to sales, inherent to business, that, you have to be able to go and sell people. And you know what? Locally, it's not hard to get a sales force put together either, though. It's not a big deal to go locally and get yourself some salespeople, put them in a CRM, and have them work for you. Because, again, you're local, you can get people to come to work. Getting a remote sales force put together that are going to sell to people all over the country on the internet, that can be, more of a challenge. Now, having said all of that, here at Rocket Driver, we've got amazing tools. The people who sign up with us and that are our partners, we give them a CRM system. We have leads that we furnish to everybody, and these are on a global basis, national basis. We have leads. We have salespeople. We have everything that you need to be successful, everything you need to fuel your sales force, to build a sales force, and to get your business off the ground once you're established locally. I advise that to everybody. Despite everything that we give to people, I tell them, look, start local. Don't go ahead and spend your time, spend a little bit of time marketing yourself locally. Go to some local events, show up at some trade shows, show up at some home shows, go out there in the field and spend your time. Join some local organizations, like SCORE, Senior Corps of Retired Executives, or join your local, all your business groups like your SBC has, all these different organizations locally. Show up, get your business card out there, be known. If you do that, you will get sales. It's really not that complicated. And then once you're ready, go ahead and capitalize upon all the resources available to you, and you'll have a marketing budget to do so. It's just a much more logical decision than trying to tackle the world by the horns before you even have a grasp on the basics of, how all this stuff works. Anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. If you'd like to see this video, if you'd like to see more videos like this, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell to get notified when we drop new ones. I'll see you in the next vid.